Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel.
This is the Didn't Anyone Mention podcast.
Welcome back.
I guess, yeah. I've seen like
Well.
Wow.
How you feeling?
Pretty good,
You
honestly.
good? Loose?
Loose, compact, is I guess is a good word to say.
Compact?
hmm
Okay.
I feel like a Prius that's just chugged a Monster Energy. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be all natural, but I had some of those chemicals in me and I feel good.
If you guys didn't listen to last week's episode, Miguel lost in a card game. So he took a shot.
This is
So,
this is after our episode we just did about the Harlem Hospital.
the Harlem Shake.
Yes.
I just said the joke as soon as I was waiting for Miguel to pull up his podcast. I was like, the Harlem Valley? It's like the Harlem Shake because that's what you do when you're getting electrocuted.
You didn't say that last part. That makes it way funnier.
That song is so stuck in my head now.
Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna cut you off right now because this is about to get fucking serious.
Damn. Okay.
Do
I
you
can't
know
take you
about the
seriously, but
Rockefeller family?
oh my gosh, there's no way you went down one of your rabbit holes.
This is not a rabbit hole. This is
It,
not.
this
I
is
mean,
like a black
part of
hole.
it is
It's a black hole.
okay. Do you know about the Rockefeller
Yes,
family?
yes.
What do you know?
They own everything.
Part.
Not part of or they own part.
One of the richest families in the industrial era of the U.S.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're still around.
Did you ever hear about their son named Michael?
Michael, I don't know.
Michael Rockefeller.
That's a pretty basic name.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You never heard about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, it's common enough where it didn't stick.
So there's a little bit you got to know before we dig into this story.
Sounds great.
So the Rockefeller family was in the early 1900s. They were one of the most prominent and wealthy families in the world.
They were the ones that made us talk about monopolies.
Yes, they were just absurdly rich. Okay, the Rockefeller family. Michael was the son in the Rockefeller family. Okay.
Do you know how many kids there were or no?
I think there were 5. I don't know the names of all of them.
Okay.
Michael's the most prominent one, I think.
Okay.
Because he went missing.
Mm.
But besides that, Michael, who we're going to focus on, he was like a art enthusiast, an ethnographer. I think
What's
that's the
that?
word. Study of cultures and races.
Okay.
Super into all that stuff.
So he was not fitting the mold.
He wasn't. Yes and no, I would say.
Not for the time that he was in.
Yeah.
Because when did you say?
Like early 1900s.
He's not fitting the mold.
So he was like, he loved arts and crafts and the study of people.
It's the industrial age. Nobody cares about that at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So a little bit of
not nobody cares. We should have, because art is awesome, but
art is pretty cool. But who he was really obsessed with was the Asmat people in Papua New Guinea. Have you heard about those people?
No, I don't. I think no.
So the Asmat people were warriors, cannibals, and like super into rituals. The Asmat people lived in a remote, swampy region of Dutch New Guinea, which is now Indonesia, by the way.
Okay.
And these were not your average people. The Asmat people were one of the most feared warrior societies in the region, known for their headhunting and ritual cannibalism.
Okay.
I got a fun fact about this later.
Cool.
That we can touch on. So don't let me forget.
Okay.
And it was never about hunger, the cannibalism.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was about vengeance, honor, and maintaining the balance in the spirit world. Okay. So Michael Rockefeller was super into this like tribe. this native tribe in
Mm.
Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
Super into it. Okay. In the Asmat people's culture, if someone killed a member of your tribe, you were obligated to get revenge. But revenge wasn't just about killing the enemy, it had to be done in a highly ritualistic way. The process usually was something about the hunt. Okay? You had to ambush your enemy, usually by spearing them in the water or wherever they were. Um, you had to take them back to the tribe alive,
Mm-hmm.
and where they were ceremonially dismembered. Okay, and then the consumption of it was parts of the body were eaten not as food, but to absorb the spiritual power of the deceased. And then the skull was kept as a trophy and used in religious rites. Depending on how the ritual was, they would either keep the skull or try to really burn it down.
Okay.
And that was a cycle of their rituals. It was violence, revenge, and cannibalism, all through and through.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
Where was I right here? So, hold on, I'm getting way too ahead of myself right now. Michael Rockefeller, let's get back to that. We know
Mhm.
about the Asmat people now. We know
Mhm.
about Michael Rockefeller. Well, Michael Rockefeller, he, on his second voyage back to that tribe area in Dutch Papua New Guinea,
Mm-hmm.
his boat, I guess something fucked up happened to his boat.
Do we know how he got on these topics?
What do you mean?
Like, how did he find these people?
I don't know. He was a man of letters.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
studies,
I
all this
bet. Yeah.
stuff, college,
Okay.
whatever. And he wanted, I guess, in the essence of it all, he wanted to preserve their culture,
Okay.
right? And the Asmat people are really known for their super detailed, intricate wood carvings, like
Mm-hmm.
incredibly detailed
Hmm.
wood carvings. And these wood carvings weren't just like about art, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Asmat people believe that some of these wood carvings actually held their spirits, or
Wow.
if they held rituals, they would create these wood carvings and they had to be burned right afterwards, like
Hmm.
like craziness,
Yeah.
right? They were just so beautiful. But Michael
Mm-hmm.
Rockefeller was so intrigued by these wood
Mm-hmm.
carvings that he actually wanted to bring one back to wherever he was, New York,
Mm-hmm.
most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Now think of this. This is what I think of. This kid born into an extremely wealthy family. There's nothing money can't buy. He goes to this tribe of people where money does not mean shit.
No, it doesn't mean anything for
Doesn't mean
them.
anything. How would you take it if this white guy, okay, I'm not saying this to be racist, but your
Well,
tribe is
just
not full of
somebody.
white people,
Well, not even just like
an
white guy.
outsider,
Outsider.
an
Like
outsider
blatantly an
came
outsider.
and
Yeah.
tried offering you this paper for like a ritual piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Something.
that has more meaning to you
Mm-hmm.
than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How would you take that?
Oh, I would take offense to it.
You would take offense to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So, in 1961, Michael Rockefeller ends up traveling back for a second time
Mm-hmm.
back to the Asmat territory. He actually travels to there.
Mm-hmm.
And about 12 miles off the shore, this is where the theory begins. His boat, something happens. He had a Dutch researcher, and I think that was it.
So just two guys.
Mm-hmm. Two guys. They end up on the shore of some place.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have my notes here. Let me look.
Because I was like, sounds pretty cut and dry. If he's gone missing, then how's it missing if these guys took him?
Right.
But
Hold on. I'm so sorry.
that's okay. Seems like this has a lot of intricacies.
Yeah. Okay. So, in 1961,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is when, yeah, 1961, Michael Rockefeller goes back for the second time
Mm-hmm.
to the Asmat territory, which is New
Yes.
Guinea, right? About 12 miles offshore, their boat breaks or something happens
Mhm.
where they can't make it. They can't
Mm-hmm.
make it to Papua New Guinea to go study the Asmat territory or
Mm-hmm.
try to get one of those wood carvings. Michael Rockefeller decides I can swim to it,
In 12 miles?
open ocean,
Brother.
and he takes off. He literally swims, and that's the last account of him. Okay, it could either be sharks, it could either be alligators, whatever.
Or
The Dutch reef
exhaustion?
or exhaustion, right? Nobody's ever found remains. Now think of this. Okay, one of the most powerful families in the world, and a Dutch researcher. You know what happens? The U.S. military goes out and looks for him.
Well,
The
yeah.
Dutch government goes out and looks for him. Nobody finds anything. Nobody finds anything. This part kind of pisses me off because, like, if it was anybody else, they don't give a shit. But since he's a member of one of the most prominent families in the world at that time,
Well, yeah, they're paying for everybody's paychecks.
right? He's like,
Non-official
they
paychecks.
literally send the U.S. military out and the Dutch military out to go find this kid. And that was the last account. The Dutch researcher, when Michael said he was going to go, he can make it to shore to Papua New Guinea.
That's some of the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's the last time they heard of him.
Dang, I
Okay.
thought he was gonna be at least like helping these guys. This sounds really bad. At least it's fueling these guys. 12 miles, there's no way.
12 miles is
There's
so long, especially in
there's
open
a
ocean with current and everything.
there's a I should look it up while you say something because there's a it's some sort of famous like swim in an ocean either in California or I think in New York or something, and it's not even close to 12 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to let me try to find it, but you tell me more. You tell me
Okay.
more.
So there are a couple theories. One, he got eaten by animals along the way, which is like
that
sharks,
would
alligators.
make the
Makes
most sense.
Another one is exhaustion, like you said.
Yeah.
The third one is he actually made it, and then he was eaten by the Asmat tribe because of the offense they took from the first visit that he had, where he was trying to buy their wood carvings. This seems to be the most prominent theory, actually, that he made it actually to shore, and that he got eaten.
Okay.
Take a guess as to why.
Why?
Well, when they went back to go visit the Asmat tribe, there was rumors spread across Dutch missionaries and officials whispering that the Asmat villages in their history killed a white man in Papua New Guinea, where the tribe was, where they speared him, dragged him into a hut, and ate him in ritual ceremony. And there was oral accounts of people of the tribe that their grandparents actually took part of the ceremony of killing of a white man. And that could have been Michael Rockefeller.
Interesting.
Right?
So fun fact. I just found some things.
Okay.
So he could have technically done it. I don't know how fit this guy is. But apparently, there's a guy back in 2021, Pablo Fernandez, swam
Across the Rio Grande?
155.34 miles in 26 hours and 38 minutes.
That's
It's insane.
That's a long ways.
If you want to go back a little further, 2006, ooh. I don't even know if I can say Velgio. I don't even know. I can't even say the last name. Swam 120.5 miles in 50 hours and 10 minutes. But even that is insane.
Yeah.
So apparently you can do it. But I feel like you would have to have you'd have to be fit, have some stamina, and I'm not.
What if your life's on the line?
It doesn't mean like your body can just. Yeah, you're gonna have adrenaline for a part, right? But still, your body's gonna be conditioned to what it can do.
Good point.
And I don't want to say that I'm not saying that artists or like people who are super maybe more book motivated or anything aren't physically fit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that, but is he? Was he?
The pictures that I've seen, he seemed. I mean, honestly, if you look 1970s and earlier than that,
Mm-hmm.
everybody seems pretty fit.
Yeah.
Like everybody seems pretty fit back in the day.
Yeah. But that's all I'm saying. But if you made it, which obviously I was like, oh, there's no way, but apparently people swim over 100 freaking miles.
It's a possibility.
It is. I could see it as a possibility. Them all saying, "Oh yeah, a white man was killed." Um, I mean, he can't be the first one who was like trying to get all up in their business either.
Yeah, but
Especially with,
probably the only one to show up twice.
yeah,
Because
because you'd
his
be.
first visit, he was trying to buy it, and then he actually got out of there just fine. And he came back a second time
And they were
after he
like,
swam the 12
dude.
miles. And the possibility could be that they were like, he was trying to buy it again, and they took offense to it, and they're like, all right, we're killing this motherfucker.
But you said it was. They always had a reason for it, and yeah, that is. But I almost am like, bro, what if the ritual, like, what if they do have some juju? Because oh, the boat just cut out.
It probably wasn't motorized.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
It just had a problem,
Well, another compelling reason
or
for him to
Dutchman
get
was hired to freaking
possible. Another compelling reason for the Asmat tribe to um,
kill him.
kill him. Remember when I said it was revenge?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess 3 years prior, there was a Dutch invasion. So it was a Dutch guy that was with him, right,
Mm-hmm.
with Michael Rockefeller. 3 years prior, there was a massacre from the Dutch to the Asmat people. And
So
the
they
Dutch
thought,
are pretty white, right?
yeah, I was gonna say, so they were like, finally, a white man to
Right.
take blame for this.
So
I would take more
I have a,
into that than him just being offensive.
right.
Because,
So let me tell you about this massacre.
okay.
So the Dutch had colonized Papua New Guinea in the early 20th century, but they had barely controlled anything outside of the coastal areas. The deep jungle, which is where they were, the Asmat
Mm-hmm.
people, and the swamps are still ruled by indigenous tribes.
Mm-hmm.
By the 1950s, the Dutch government was trying to civilize the Asmat, which
Mm-hmm.
we know how that went in the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pushing them to stop headhunting and adopt Western customs. This was like telling a lion to stop hunting, really.
Yeah.
Like it was just so
Mm-hmm.
deep rooted into their culture. And the cannibalism really was not about violence. All right. It was part of their culture. And that's where the huge difference was. Like
Mm-hmm.
killing of the people it was like the Aztecs. Sacrifices wasn't about the killing, it was about
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual
Mm-hmm.
release for their gods,
Mm-hmm.
right? So by 1958, things got crazy. The Dutch, a Dutch patrol led by colonial officer Max Lepre, which I think that's his name, tried to assert control over an Asmat village. The details are kind of blurred
Mm-hmm.
as time has went, but the Dutch opened fire on the warriors, killing several of them. To the Asmat, this was a massacre,
Mm-hmm.
right? And under their beliefs, those dead warrior spirits could not rest until revenge was taken.
Mm-hmm.
This created a deep hatred for the Dutch and any white outsiders that resembled them. So
Mm-hmm.
is it now knowing that, do you think it's possible?
That's more of a possibility than the offending thing.
All right. So then why did Michael make it out the first time?
Oh, because it happened, huh?
The first time
They would have done it right away.
You think so?
Yeah. I would think that they would be like, because there has to be a language barrier. They have to have their own dialect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
don't know about that. I mean, I'm guessing yes.
I'm guessing
I'm
if it's
assuming-
rural, like I'm
yeah.
guessing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know language kind of essentially comes from that, and then we just change it up over time.
Mhm.
But like, That I forgot that he had been there before. Unless they saw it, if they're spiritually, then they would say like it's a sign. Like they would be
Maybe the
like
second time, maybe the first time they were like, okay, this guy's okay.
they were
And then the
like
second
it's
time
not.
they were like, all right, this dude's got to stop.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say he did it, and he's like, I'm not Dutch. Like I'm not. That's not who it is. And then came in the next time, and they were like, the spirits have given us a sign that this is going to be how those people rest.
Possible.
That's
I
what
like
I would see
I
it
like
as.
that theory, right?
That's what if they're so spiritual and like more like that. Are they still around?
Yeah, they're still there. The Asmat people.
Dang.
And oral accounts are still pretty prominent about the killing of this white man.
So they essentially kill people in their own tribe to like keep it. I guess is
Not, they don't kill them. What
they
is
sacrifice them.
not sacrifice?
Do they not do that anymore then, or what?
Let's see here. I just had notes on this. Like, can't. What are you talking about? It it was about enemy tribes in the area, so they wouldn't kill each other. It was enemy tribes in
Mm,
the area, and
so these,
it wasn't ever about like
I know what it was.
just
Yeah.
killing somebody.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is do they still do that?
Oh, I don't. My assumption is yes. If it's part of their culture, then yeah, I'm assuming yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
Interesting, right? Okay.
At that point, or you already, or actually, I'll ask you at the
No,
end.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say at that point, do you think what do you think morally? Is that right or no?
If it's part of their culture, I mean,
I guess if they don't hurt anyone else that doesn't believe in that culture, then I guess.
that's what enemy tribes are, right?
But that's what I'm saying. But if those tribes also believe in the same thing, but they're just like enemies, is what I'm saying. Like, a Catholic and a Catholic not liking each other, they can be enemies, but they still believe in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know about the other tribes in that area, so I couldn't
But what I'm,
assume.
yeah, because I'm like, because then how does that make it okay? Just because they believe in
I
it,
guess
how does that make it okay? Just
in
because,
that point in time, I guess it's not for us to decide if it's okay or not because they're. I mean, This is gonna sound super first world esque of me, but they're in their own bubble, right? So in within
so if
their
any,
people,
so,
within their people, they probably view whatever they're doing as okay and righteous. But outside that sphere, it's not okay.
but what I'm
But
saying is
those
these
100% of
fears.
those people in there think it's okay. So who's to say it's right or wrong? Is it the majority of the other people in
So
the
what if
world?
somebody came into their bubble? Or what if someone left the bubble
If somebody left the bubble and like what?
and just was continuing what their cultures and their beliefs were?
Well, then they're outside of that bubble.
So in the bubble, it's okay.
I would say in the bubble. I mean, you're really trying to pin me down here in this.
You just sound a little Charles Manson to me. No, I'm joking. Because
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like we have serial killers, we have people who do these
Obviously,
things.
I
How
don't.
does it make it
Yeah.
okay?
Obviously, I don't think it's okay.
Yeah. Well, no, obviously, I don't think it's okay either to kill another person
Right. Right.
because that's not how we view life.
Right.
Obviously, they view life as something to appease another side of the spiritual, but that's what I'm saying. How does I guess that's the big question is how and this might sound extra first worldly of me, but like at what point do we say it's not okay? Or like what point when the whole
Now I think we're starting to understand the conquistador mindset.
that's where I'm like I'm kind of
And
worried right now. Am I like
yeah, now we're starting
like
to understand
but
the Western mindset.
they were so small before, right? So they were
Think of
smaller
Native
getting
American.
bigger.
Yeah, think of
But
Native
even though
American
Native
tribes in the
no,
U.S.
that's what I'm saying. The Native American tribe was majority of the US.
Hmm.
but we made their bubble. Like, we made little pockets, right? But what I'm saying is now all the other things are big, and now there's just that little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
At what point does the bubble pop?
That's a good point.
But I don't know if that's a little bit too deep of a question.
No,
But
not at
I
all.
was just thinking about that because I was like, there's no, like,
But
I wouldn't doubt that it's still happening because, I mean, even we still have not done it. The tribe that we learned about in Mexico that lives up on the mountain, they're like,
Huachil or something like that.
you don't talk to us, we don't talk to you.
Yeah.
You don't worry about what you're doing, we don't worry about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep it very separate.
Let's circle back on this topic at the end of the
Okay.
episode. Because this is an interesting question, and I would like to pursue it.
Okay.
So let's get back to what we learned. Michael Rockefeller, rich family, the Asmat people. They are ritualistic cannibals. Okay, he went back for a second time after his boat failed 12 miles on shore. The last time he was seen was swimming back to shore to Papua New Guinea. He was either eaten by animals or by the Asmat people. And there was a Dutch massacre 3 years prior. He had been to New Guinea once before trying to buy wood engravings. Didn't pan out. This was his second visit with a Dutch researcher. Now, the U.S. military went out, tried to look for him. The Dutch military went out, tried to look for him. Nobody was successful. There are rumors of Dutch missionaries that were in the area that knew of what happened, but were told / paid to be silent about the whole matter.
But they weren't so silent.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. They were never publicized, I would say.
Okay.
So Dutch missionaries reported saying that, yep, your boy was eaten. He was eaten by the Asmat people. And like we know this because we talked to these people. Dutch missionaries would say that. But their stories were never publicized, never corroborated, I would say. There's a couple of reasons for this. Possibly, if we were to dig in this route. So, why didn't the Dutch government acknowledge that Michael Rockefeller was eaten? Biggest reason was it was politically disastrous. Right? It's always political. At the time, the Dutch were trying to hold on to New Guinea, the area where Michael was eaten, while Indonesia was demanding control over the region. If it got out that a white American from one of the most powerful families in the world had been eaten by the natives, it would have been an international nightmare, right? Also, you already knew about the missionaries in that area. So, is it possible that the Dutch government knew what happened, but just decided to suppress to keep control over the area?
If the Dutch were the one that shot them anyways, then why wouldn't, but like they knew these missionaries knew the tribe? Why wouldn't they just kill them?
Kill the tribe?
No, I'm saying why wouldn't they just kill one of the missionaries and be like, sorry, dude. Circle of life. Your people killed ours.
That's a good point. I don't know.
I'm like, so what? They're just picking and choosing? Like, at that point, then it's like the Dutch missionaries were like, and it was a Dutch guy. It's like they knew that they would have to appease, so they were like, you know what? Take this freaking little kid that is just obsessed with wood. But realistically, I could even see Homeboy just going there and living out his merry days there. Sounded like he just wanted to be a part of the group.
Yeah.
So what if he's alive and just living? L-I-V-I-N, living.
There is, I don't know if it's AI or not, but there are supposed photos of Michael Rockefeller living among these people too.
Told you. I believe that more than him getting eaten and all this stuff because of, I keep on switching it up, but why wouldn't he live there? He sounded like he was super into it and like was so intrigued. How are you going to learn the most? And the Dutch guy just let him, like, oh, all of a sudden this boat goes out. Then he jumps. This sounds like a staging of his disappearance.
Of one
And
of the
he had enough,
wealthiest families of the world.
and he had the money to get everybody paid off to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Um, before we leave this topic, you can find anything that Michael did at the Museum of Primitive Art in New York. And that's all I have for you. But
I'm guessing he lives there. Or lived there,
that's an
has
interesting
family.
Yeah, that's an
That's
interesting
what I would guess.
I didn't think about that. I would assume that he got
Because
eaten.
why would you never find him? I mean, the only other way, because if they found him, technically, so they aren't allowed to go on the tribe, so you wouldn't be able to see the bones or anything. You wouldn't be able to know if he was there or not. And then if he was eaten by an animal in the water, you wouldn't have been able to find him either because it would be in their stomach digesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, if
You
he
think
made it, then I would think if he made it, I would think Homeboy stayed.
you
And
think
of
he paid
course,
off that Dutch reporter?
or the Dutch researcher guy, 100%.
There's not much about him.
That's what I'm saying. Get some no man land guy
Pay
and
him
do it.
off. Leave your family, but with like some money.
Well, especially when he's not super. It sounds like maybe he wasn't super connected to his family. I don't know how the relationship was,
I
but
don't know.
like it seems like he was into maybe some different things than, you know, the rest of them. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
So I could see, and you're saying that he was obsessed with it.
He
He
loved it.
left.
He was a self-proclaimed ethnographer.
That's what I'm saying. You fall in love with it. You're just gonna go back and live there. Why not?
Yeah, I see that.
But
Earlier in the episode, I said I had a fun fact about this.
oh yes.
The reason I came across this was I was listening to another podcast where they talked about mad cow disease. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that was?
I remember hearing it, but I can't remember what it is.
So apparently, that I learned this
Uh-huh.
while doing research on this podcast. Mad cow disease started because when they were slaughtering goats, they didn't know what to do with the byproduct of it, like the brains, the bones,
Mm-hmm.
whatever of it. They decided to
They fed it
blend
back.
them all up, feed them back to the cows. And what happened was when the cows ate
Mm-hmm.
the brain tissue of the goats,
It made them like.
it started
Mm-hmm.
deteriorating their nervous system and their
Yeah.
neurons in their brains.
Mm-hmm.
And it started passing on cow to cow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was. It was because when animals eat animal brains, it ruins their nervous system and their brain
Mm-hmm.
system.
Some
Same
animals.
thing that happens
Mm-hmm.
to humans when they eat brains of another human. Fun fact.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like
That's
when
crazy.
cannibals eat other brains, if you eat a human brain, your body will recognize it and start deteriorating neurons and functions of your brain. That's what mad cow disease is.
I'm not a cannibal, but is it just the brain or is it
From my knowledge, yes,
it's just
it
the
is
brain?
just
Okay.
the brain.
That
Like
would
the
make
brain tissue does something, like it
Yeah.
releases.
No, that makes sense.
It releases a special, not special, but like it releases a certain chemical.
No, that makes sense. No, I think that makes sense. Dang, that is crazy.
Right, and
I remember
that's what
mad
started.
cow was something from cows eating, but I can't remember from what.
That's what it was. They were feeding cows blended up goat brains.
Because pigs can eat pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So I wonder. So that's what you're like. Okay, like, where's the cross? You know, like what, like goat to cow, like that's messes with the brain.
It
But like,
it was the brains. It was like they narrowed it down to the brains, and it was something about a cow eating like cow brain or goat brain.
see, and that's what you're like. Why are they so simple? Because I know. I
Mhm.
mean, there's like different delicacies in different worlds, right? But like monkey brain is a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and people aren't having deterioration from that. I'm obviously assuming, or else they would have
Yeah,
figured that out by then.
yeah.
But so you like wonder what part then is similar of a goat and a cow, like how human to human would be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Dang, that's crazy.
Fun fact.
So, I wouldn't doubt that. Well, maybe they don't eat the brain.
Maybe they don't,
They maybe
but
it sounds
it's
like they
in
don't.
cannibalistic tribes. It's pretty well documented about this certain phenomenon, like quote unquote mad cow disease, happening with humans in
Hmm.
cannibalistic tribes. They eat the
Yeah.
brains, like this
Mm,
the same thing happening where it's like deterioration of your neural network.
that's crazy. Dang, dude, that's crazy. Well, good thing I won't ever eat a freaking human brain.
I know.
But that's like
If
what
you're ever
makes.
on the edge about it, this
But
hopefully.
that's like interesting on like how ironic where zombie movies they want you to eat. They always say like eating brains.
Hmm.
But if it makes the body deteriorate even more, wouldn't you want to eat something that wouldn't deteriorate the nervous system even more?
I don't know.
You know?
Yeah.
Because like you're already a
Or maybe that's
zombie.
why, like, that's why it's mad cow. Because what happened when they got mad cow disease? Would they just eat each other? Do you remember?
I think it was just you. I mean, if you lose nervous system, then you start losing your mind.
Let's
You
see
maybe go
here.
insane.
Symptoms of mad cow disease. Here it is. Um. Oh, a common sign of BSE in cows, which is mad cow disease, is incoordination, a trouble walking or getting up, which is muscular dystrophy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is it? Oh yeah, this it sounds familiar. The reasons aren't super understood, but it's the normal prion protein changes into an abnormal prion protein, which
Mm-hmm.
is something that happens is in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see what the symptoms are. It takes 4 to 6 times a cow for it to be infected, and there's an incubation period. There's no treatment.
So they're just super clumsy.
Super clumsy because your brain doesn't know what to do.
And I mean, it's hard with a cow. You wouldn't know, like if they're seeing things or if they're losing it or things like that.
Yep. In humans, if you were to get it, it'd be anxiety, apathy, or nervousness. Muscular wise, it would be problems with coordination. Sensory wise, it'd be pins and needles or uncomfortable tingling and burning. Cognitively, it'd be dementia or confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Psychological, depression and psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
And
There
what's
they
also
are.
common is insomnia, restlessness, slurred speech, or unresponsiveness.
There it is.
So, just essentially the loss of mental acuity.
Mm-hmm. Dang. That's crazy.
Fucking crazy, huh?
Dang, dude. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what a zombie is.
Fuck me, you're right.
So then, are they zombies because they keep eating brains?
Yeah, they say more brains.
Because they need to keep up the steady flow, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
If
anyways.
by the way, that's the end of the podcast. But if you want to stick around, we're gonna fuck around for a little bit. Um, the zombie apocalypse, let's say, happens this evening. Where are you going?
At least, say in the morning, so I could have had some night's sleep.
Okay, tomorrow morning. Beep, beep,
More likely, my grandparents' house.
Okay, it happens. We're driving all the way down there. We're
Mm-hmm.
loading up all our guns, huh?
Oh yeah, we're loading up everything we can.
We're loading up all our guns, and you're gonna ride shotgun, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
If anybody blocks the road, you're gonna fucking take their heads off, huh?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I almost would say we need to drive 2 cars because
Take both of them.
it might be smart. Because
Who's
yeah, what
taking
if
who?
more likely to have, I don't know, that's a good question. More likely, I don't know, would you take our daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would take my daughter, and then I'd give you the
We'd split
shotgun.
I'd try to split supplies however we could between both.
Yeah. I would
So if
give you
one vehicle got down, that's why I think about it, is if one vehicle went down, then the other one would be there.
nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would give you the shotgun with all the ammo with it, and I'd give you the 2 pistols, and I would carry a pistol and an AR myself, and that's what I would hold. Um.
But we could get down there pretty quick, especially if there's like,
Mm-hmm.
what, a police officer's gonna pull us over? Grab me or whatever.
Uh,
But
damn. No, I would say let's take one car.
you think so? I would say arguably we would take your work car because there's cover on the back.
Yeah, let's take the work truck, load up the guns in there, and I would say we'll have the pistols ready.
Yeah.
We'll have the shotgun up there, and then I'll have my AR ready. And I say let's just go until we make it
Yeah.
down.
Because splitting up is dangerous, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's not worth it, and then
Mm-mm.
we can come back and pick it up when we're ready.
It's not even that. It would just be like if something happened to
Mm-hmm.
it. But um
That's where you would go, is down there. We'd bring any food, any dry goods we have.
at that point it's just like such a level, I don't know if it's just because it would be a level playing field or what.
Yeah, yeah, I'd go down there.
I think that
Or,
would be the safest that we know, like, for sure.
mm-hmm.
That'd be
Fucking scary
scary.
scenario,
That's
huh?
scary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary thinking about.
Yeah. Honestly, there's quite a few places or quite a few reasons I would go out there no matter what.
I mean, we
Any
have.
kind of apocalyptic thing, really.
Mm-hmm. There's wildlife in there, deer and all that we could hunt.
Mm-hmm. Rivers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But to a point, um, especially if there's like something coming after you, like I mean, yeah, fencing and things like that is really good, but like being able to see all your surroundings and not letting anything being able to like hide behind something would be very beneficial.
And that's where you're at out there.
That's
I
exactly that's
mean,
where
we're
would
a
think.
fence within a fence.
Yeah. So, and that fence has 20 acres, and then the next fence is even more acres. So it's
Yeah.
just like it's
Yeah.
massive. But
Would we try to pick anybody else up, or would we take
we
care of
would
it?
go and just say like, you guys got to meet us there.
What if there's no cell phone communication?
I mean, I know. Because yeah, then that's the other thing. Your family, like,
Yeah. Yeah. If we had our family, I would like to say that I would go.
well, because it's not like, I mean, realistically, if that happened, it's not like it would be bad. Of also just being out of the big town would be smart.
I know
I
getting out of.
worry about pretty much everyone, besides maybe because, like, I mean, your parents,
I worry about my parents. They actually don't
they're
have.
like in the middle of
They're
it.
in the middle of it, and they don't have any kind of firearms.
I don't know. They're in the middle of town.
Yeah.
And of course that's nice for that, but like, or your cousins. Your cousins are in the middle of town.
Which cousins?
Your cousins, Evie, Eva and Freddie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't have any firearms.
They well, but what I'm saying is, even I'm not even saying firearms aside, location wise, they're in a rough spot.
They're in a hot zone, yeah.
So is like my aunt, my other aunt, my mom. My mom's in a crappy spot.
Not
Unless she
really.
went north.
There's no reason for them to go looting where they are right now. The only people that would loot are people in her area. You know?
What do you mean?
Like if you think about it, like my parents, your parents, their areas, like there's not any real big stores around. There's not.
Oh yeah, but
If people that were looting,
what I'm saying is people leave town.
yeah.
They would be gridlocked. Like it would be panic.
Oh yeah.
It would. I'm not even saying
We're
looting.
close enough to the edge.
We're right on the edge. We would be able to hit the road and be out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue maybe your other sister and my sister could maybe do that, but either way, it's still a main enough road where I don't think they could really get out that easy.
Even on the backside. But yeah, I think it'd be smarter to take one car.
That makes
maybe
sense.
my work truck.
That one's just like higher. That's the only reason I say that. Yeah.
And load up the guns in there. Load up our goods.
Yeah, I would just load up a lot of food, a couple changes of clothes, because you always want to make sure you have dry clothes, things like that. But our first aid, our to go thing. But
fishing rods, I would take those too.
Might as well. I just chuck so much stuff in there and just be like, go for the best.
It's kind of crazy thinking about it. Like, are you prepared or are you not? And
I think there's stuff we could do to be more prepared, but realistically, I think we're pretty prepared. If so.
Too. Yeah.
But
it makes me want to go buy more ammo, to be 100% honest with you.
I know. Every single time we talk about something like crazy, you're like,
you can't have enough ammo. Realistically, in my mind, I don't think you can.
I don't think you could. Yeah. No.
There's never enough.
Because you're never, realistically, you're not going to hit every single shot. So you want to make sure you have enough to have that as an option.
Yeah, true. All right. Well, that's the end of our episode. Thank you for following along on our zombie apocalypse episode.
Yeah. Dang. Well, that was a good one. Dang.
You like that one?
You kept me changing my mind.
Yeah.
Kept me on my toes.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I like to do.
Cool. Well, appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.